too want to thank everybody for being here. It's very important that we in public safety educate the public and the community leaders on what we're trying to accomplish. And I heard the terminology for safer communities, and that's very important to us. And how do we maintain our public safety while we have safer communities? And we're trying our best in our jail programs and in our level of enforcement that we have through our law enforcement partners in Oakland and the other 13 cities in the county that are out there actively working to protect each and every one of us while we're even here. But we also have prevention programs that we want to make sure we're continuing on and the public is aware of before people come into custody. And we heard about education. And education is, some statistics will show you that if children aren't reading by 3rd grade, they'll end up in custody, right? And so knowing that, we have children that come out to our visiting section. And we have a reading program for the children as they're waiting in line. And hopefully educate them and encourage them to continue on with their reading. We heard about the children in custodies. Well, we have the Youth and Family Services Bureau that provides programs to those people to stop those cycle of violence, to stop that cycle of drug use, to stop that learned behavior that everybody tells us about. So we have programs in place for the youth in the community so they can avoid ever being in contact with law enforcement or ever being taken into custody. And our programs include things like athletic activities, drug prevention. We just last week started an agricultural program where we're teaching children how to farm. And I know that at first glimpse might not see all that important, but now we're talking about children learning something about farming, and there's a lot of job opportunities at Orchard Supply, at Lowe's, at the gardening centers. When they go out to take on other chores, that they can earn money and become educated and learn about job and other possibilities that are out there for them. So Alameda County Sheriff's Office has these youth and family programs, as well as other law enforcement entities out there. So we're not just an enforcement branch. And I think that's very important for safer communities. But we have other obligations and other duties that we're trying to fulfill. At our jail here, we're very proud of this jail. And by no means am I the creator of these programs. And I want you to reflect back. We heard people talk about what happened in the early 1950s. Right? And I'm trying to find the speaker, the judge. There you are. And the same problems existed. But we had a sheriff in 1940, Sheriff Gleason, that was the first in the country to bring a doctor onto base to deal with medical problems. And that was in the 40s. So we've continued that, and sheriffs previous to me and myself are trying to continue that and expand upon those medical needs, because that's a very important loop we need to finish with our mental illness as well as our physical illnesses. But we've continued to expand on programs as well in the food service, and cosmetology, and barbering, and employability. I think we're one of the first jails in the nation to have a job program in housing units where we have employability. We bring actual employers and tell the inmates how to make contact with their CBOs. The inmates in the kitchen were going to riot because they didn't think they were going to have access to those programs. They wanted to come out for the job fair. They said, hey, we're not going to feed you. Well, I don't know if anybody out there understands what happens if you don't feed those people over there. We're not going to have any time to do anything but solve the riot. So we said we're going to extend the program. You'll be able to have access to the job fair and talk about what can happen to you once you get out of custody here. And that's important to us. We try to expand every program. We're working with our Board of Supervisors. We're trying to maintain those fundings. We're trying to work with a collaborative effort with every entity we can thank you very much for being a part of that. If you have any suggestions for us that will improve our conditions, that will improve the inmates' abilities once they get released, we'll be more than happy to listen to you, as long as it doesn't cost us money and it's legal. I get a lot of ideas that are illegal, but I'm trying to be as legal as we possibly can. Earlier today, we had the undersheriff from San Joaquin County. He had to leave. It's very important for everybody here to understand about AB 900, and that's a reentry program where we're trying to alleviate some of the problems with the state inmates. And so that undersheriff was Undersheriff Piccone. He had to leave. Matt Cate has been a great partner with the state sheriffs and chiefs of police. But on behalf of the state sheriffs, we've worked very close with the release programs. Okay, who are we going to release? When do we release them? And I can't thank you enough for your cooperation. An example of that, to validify what he has done and how well he works with us, he's here today. And I know how busy Secretary Cate is. I can't thank you enough. Very impressive that you show up on our behalf. Technology, we heard Jerry speak about technology and not be obsolete in our approaches or our training. So we have photographs that validate what we're doing. You can see the computer systems that we have there are all brand new, up to date. We teach our inmates computer skills. We do have training programs for some of the state inmates. Those state inmates get GED opportunity as well as independent studies. We're trying to be aware that everybody we deal with, either on the prevention side, early on before they get into custody or while in custody, they have different needs. There's not one single answer for all the people. Everybody has a different need, and we're trying to address that, whether it be drugs, alcohol, anger management, education, literacy, English as a second language, computer skills, job skills, certification that we heard. We're trying to improve in every aspect and give these people an opportunity to take their avenue. I don't want to direct their avenue. I want them to help themselves be successful. With that, I just want to, again, thank everybody. If you have any questions of us, we'll be available outside. If anybody wanted to go on a tour and learn more about our jail, we'd be glad to set that up for a date in the future. We have a very transparent agency. If you want to come and see what we do, call us up, we'll bring you out. Right? We don't hide anything. You want to see how our jail works? Come look. You want to see what we do at the Sandy Turner Training Facility? Come out and learn. We'd love to have you. We look for your ideas. Thank you very much. Supervisor Carson, you're a great leader in this county. Can't thank you enough for having this event for us today. Thanks.